Did you know that all who have died are still alive somewhere? They see all you do and hear all you say. Yes, you heard me right. In addition, they eat and drink or hunger and thirst. They are either happy, comfortable, and enjoying life, or they are sad and in pains. How does that happen? Just listen well. When we say that a person has died, what happened is that the person has simply removed the garment he or she has been wearing, which we call the body, and moved to another place. Like someone just travels out to a far place and continues his or her life there. Know that the real you, the real person people see who answers that name they call you, is invisible to the human eye, because it is a spirit made in the image and likeness of God, as the Bible clearly states in Genesis 1:26. After creating you in his image and likeness, he formed or clothed you in your mother's womb with sand, which is the garment or body with which he covers the real you, which is your soul, and sends you out to the world with an assignment to know him, love him, worship him in this world in order to qualify to live with him in his kingdom of paradise forever. When the amount of time he has allocated to us to live here is up, he summons us to come for assessment or judgment of how well or how badly we have carried out this assignment, one of which is how we have shown our love for him. He has instructed us in the Bible when he said, "If you love me, keep my commandments." And these commandments are well known and are 10 in number. To disobey these commandments by committing adultery, fornication, robbery, kidnapping, murder, homosexuality, idol worship, etc., attracts everlasting punishment in hellfire. And so when a person is said to have died by removing this garment that God dressed him or her up with, people of the world, made up of his or her friends and relations, simply pick up this garment and put it in a coffin and bury it, or cremate it, or do whatever it likes with it, according to customs or religious beliefs. Meanwhile, the real person who owns that garment from wherever he or she is, watches what they are doing with his or her garment, because he or she is as immortal as God, who created the person's soul in his image and likeness, and so cannot die. Here is why. There are 6 senses on man which are of common knowledge. These senses actually belong to the soul. They are all lost when a person is said to have died, but they remain alive and active in the soul, because that is where they belong. They do not belong to the human body. They can best be described as offshoots or tentacles of the soul, which appear or are manifested on the human body. When the soul leaves the body, it leaves with all these 6 senses, which of course belong to it. They include the sense of vision, hearing, touch, smell, taste, and reason. Here are brief explanations of them that prove it all. 1. The sense of vision or sight, manifested on the human body as the eyes. The soul, after death, therefore continues to see as clearly as we now see while still alive. 2. The sense of hearing, represented on our bodies as the ears. After death, the real person therefore continues to hear. This is why the spirit of Lazarus in the Bible heard the voice of Jesus and rose from death. Luke 16:27-31. Just like the dead young girl heard Talitha cum from Jesus and came back to life. Mark 5:41. 3. Touch, manifested on the skin, and we are able to feel pain or comfort. This sense is still retained after death. It is because of this attribute that God punishes the souls in hell with fire, because they can feel pain, and rewards those in heaven with comfort, peace, pleasure, and happiness greater than what the happiest person on earth can ever enjoy. Which is why presidents and kings still struggle to go to heaven. 4. Smell, shown on the body as the nose. All sweet odors and foul-smelling ones are still noticed after death. This is why God punishes the souls in hell with air polluted with foul-smelling hydrogen sulfide gas produced as sulfur burns in hell, Revelation 19:20, with thirst and pain, Luke 16:24, and with darkness, which they see all around them in hell, 2 Peter 2:4, 5, taste, manifested as taste buds on the tongue. When Jesus said after the Last Supper that the next wine he would drink would be in heaven, he was making it clear to us that the souls in heaven, though not yet reunited with their bodies, drink wine just like the angels do. Matthew 26:29. Also the rich man. Dives asking Lazarus for water, Luke 16:24, and pleading for his 5 brothers. Note that this Lazarus story in the Bible is not a parable, but an actual story, because Jesus does not mention names of human persons in his parables, but would rather say, a certain person did this or that. 6. Reason. This sense is represented by the brain. With it, we form mental pictures of situations and things. We are able to reason, feel, and express joy and sorrow, and are able to acquire knowledge. After death, we are still able to reason, which was why the rich man, Dives, was able to reason that if someone from the dead could be allowed to go to his 5 brothers still alive, to warn them, they would change their lives and avoid coming to hell to meet the same fate with him. Luke 16:27-28. Similarly, Dives suffered severe thirst while in hell and begged Abraham to allow Lazarus dip his finger in water and drop onto his tongue to cool his thirst. Luke 16:24. Even though the body of Lazarus was still lying in his grave, Jesus promised his disciples before he died that the next wine they would drink again together would be in the kingdom of paradise, where a lot of eating and drinking goes on during heavenly banquets. Matt 26:29. Matt 8:11. The dead, therefore, are like someone on transfer to a far country who does not intend to return home again. You know he is still alive, but you cannot see or hear him, but because of his spiritual powers he is able to see you and hear what you say. In that far country he is able to experience comfort or pain, hunger, thirst, distress, or peace of mind. This is why the saints in heaven are able to hear our prayers and intercede for us, even though their bodies are still lying in their graves awaiting the day of resurrection after the last trumpet on the last day, when all resurrected bodies will unite again with their souls and continue life again as human beings with glorified bodies before appearing for final judgment, just like Christ with his glorified body after his resurrection.